Alright guys, so this is the review 4-3 for the test that you'll have on Friday, February 17th. So on the review, there's two parts. There's this division by factoring, and then there's this side where it's got a different, asking you a question. And in order to do this one, you have to divide it using lines. So what I'm going to do, instead of making a long video, since you didn't watch the last one, I'm going to make a short video. And we're just going to do 2 on each side, so you have an example, and then you can go from there. So I'm just going to do number 1 and 2, just to start us off, because that kind of covers everything else for what's on this first page. So here we go. Number 1, it says 2x squared plus 7x plus 3 by x plus 3. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the 2x squared plus 7x plus 3 and divide it by x plus 3. When I'm doing this by factoring, my goal is to get my factors to cancel. So what I have to do then is factor. So if I look at the top one, that's what I'm going to factor first. So first thing you're looking for always is there a GCF? Notice there's no x in common, there's no number in common. So then I'm going to set up my box. So here's my box. I'm going to put 2x squared on the top, and I'm going to put 3 in the bottom. Then I'm going to take my A times my C. So 2 times 3, which is 6. And I'm going to find my factors of 6, which are 1 and 6, 2 and 3. And I want to figure out which one combines to get me B, which is 7. So therefore I'm going to choose 1 and 6. Notice AC is positive, B is positive, so both of them are going to be a positive X and a positive 6X. Then from there, I'm going to find the GCF of the first column, what they have in common, which is 2x. Second one, there's nothing, so I'm going to understand that to be a 1. This one, it is x, and then here it is 3. Check and make sure that's right. So x times 2x is 2x squared. X times 1 is x. 3 times 2x is 6x, and 3 times 1 is 3. So therefore, my factors are going to be 2x plus 1 and x plus 3. Divided by x plus 3. I'm then going to look, is there anything that my top is the same as my bottom? Well, that would be x plus 3, so I'm going to cancel them out. I'm left with 2x plus 1, which is my answer, and that is what I would write in this box. My suggestion to you is to work these out on a separate sheet of paper and just write the answers on here and attach the separate sheet to your review. Alright, number 2. Number 2, it says 6x squared plus 5x minus 4 by 3x plus 4. So to set it up, I'm going to have 6x squared plus 5x minus 4 divided by 3x plus 4. From there, again, we're dividing by factoring, so I'm going to factor them. Look at the top. Is there anything they have in common? Nope. So therefore, I'm just going to go straight into factoring. So I'm going to set up my box again. I'm going to make this box a little bit bigger. So my top box, I'm going to put my A, which is 6x squared, and my constant, which is negative 4. Then I'm going to multiply my A times C, which is negative 24. Factors of 24 are 1 and 24, 2 and 12, 3 and 8, 4 and 6. Which of those is going to combine to get you 5? Well, notice if I do a positive 8 and negative 3, and here's why I'm choosing that. Positive times a negative gets me a negative. Negative 3 plus 8 gives me a positive 5. If you don't remember how to find these, go back to my factoring video that I sent you out last time. So I'm going to have a negative 3x and a positive 8x. Then I look to see what they have in common. So what these have in common here is going to be 2x. What these have in common here is going to be, right now I'm going to say a 1. We'll talk about it in just a minute. If you understand what it should have been, go ahead and write that. Right here, what they have in common is going to be a 3x. And then what these have in common is going to be a 4. So check, 3x times 2x is 6x squared. 3x times 1 is a positive 3x. I want it to be a negative, so I'm going to put a negative on my 1. 2 times 4 is 8x, and then 4 times negative 1 is negative 4. So therefore I have my factors, I'm going to write them. So I have 2x minus 1 times 3x plus 4 all over 3x plus 4. Then I look, what does my top have the same as my bottom? Well, that would be these two. So that is what is left. So my answer would be 2x minus 1. Again, go back to your paper, write that answer, 2x minus 1. Alright, so that is division by factoring. Again, when you're division by factoring, you're going to factor whatever can be. So look for GCF. If you have an x squared term on the bottom, check and make sure there's not a GCF on that bottom part as well. Go back to your packet. In your packet, it's the first few pages on the factoring. Okay, that is the factoring. It's the first few pages. The other one, the long division one, the one that most of you do not like, that is on the last part of the packet. So these are the last part of the packet. You do have to know how to do both of them for your test. You will have to show both ways on your test. Alright, so for this one, I'm going to do 2 of these as well. So I'm just going to do the first 2, same thing that we did on the first one. So here we go. Letter R. So the letter R, it's saying 3x squared plus x minus 5 divided by x plus 2. Remember, whatever is being divided, I'm going to put on the inside. 3x squared plus x minus 5, and on the outside I'm going to put x plus 2. Alright, here's the questions we go through. So first question, what is the number here? Well, the number is 1, so 1 times what gets me 3? That is 3. How many x's here? 2. How many here? 1. 2 minus 1 is 1, so I have 3x. 3x times 1x is 3x squared. And then from there, I'm going to do, sorry guys, I'm going to do 3x times 2, which is plus 6x. Subtract this whole thing. So I'm going to do 3x squared minus 3x squared, which cancels. This is like a 1. So 1 minus 6, which is negative 5x minus 5. Then I'm going to go, and the next piece I'm going to do is now I'm going to have, what is the number here? 1. What is the number here? Negative 5. 1 times what gets me negative 5? Well, that is negative 5. I have 1x here. I have 1x here. So 1 minus 1 is 0, so I'm not going to write an x here. Negative 5 times x is going to be negative 5x. Negative 5 times 2 is going to be negative 10. Subtract this whole thing. Negative 5x minus 5x cancels. Negative 5 minus 10 gives me a positive 5. Therefore, what I'm going to do is I'm going to come down here, and on here where I see the 5, I'm going to write an R. Okay? Alright, next one I'm going to do is the letter K at the bottom. So K says 2x cubed minus 3x squared plus 2x minus 4 divided by x plus 3. So again, underneath I'm going to have 2x cubed minus 3x squared plus 2x minus 4 divided by x plus 3. Alright, so here we go. My number here is 1. 1 times what gets me 2? Well, that is 2. Then I have 3x's here. I have 1x here. 3 minus 1 is 2, so I'm going to put a x squared. 2x squared times x is 2x cubed. 2x squared times 3 is a positive 3x squared. Sorry. Positive 6x squared. Then, from here, I'm going to do subtract all of this. 2x cubed minus 2x cubed, that's canceled. Negative 3 minus 6 is going to give me a negative 9x squared. And then I'm going to bring down the plus 2x. So now, what is my number here? Well, it's 1. What's my number here? Negative 9. 1 times what gives me negative 9? That's negative 9. I have 2 x's here. I have 1 here. 2 minus 1 is 1, so I'm going to have negative 9x. Negative 9x times x gives me a negative 9x squared. Negative 9 times 3 gives me a negative 27x. Subtract these. You cancel. 2 minus negative 27 is going to actually give me a positive 29x minus 4. Then I'm going to check to see, okay, now I have 1 here, I have 29 here. 1 times what gives me 29? That would be plus 29. Then from here, I'm going to say 29 times 3. Sorry, 29 times x is 29x. 29 times 3 is what I'm going to do next. And that is 87. Subtract this whole thing. These cancel. Negative 4 minus 87 gives me a negative 91. So that would be my remainder. So I would come down here where it says on the remainders, and at negative 91, I would write a K. So in your boxes, what I'm expecting to see is what you got. So for example, on letter R, you got 3x minus 5, remainder 5. So I would expect you to write 3x minus 5, remainder, you can just put an R, 5. And attach your workout. On K, you would put 2x squared minus 9x plus 29, remainder, negative 91. Okay, so that's what you're going to do on this side of the page. Again, this side, it's by factoring. If you want to practice long division, you can, but I'm expecting your workout to be factoring. This side, it's long division, and you will have remainders in order to create that, to answer what's a polar bear's favorite restaurant. This is the review for your test on Friday. If you have any more questions, feel free to email me and ask, and I'll answer as best I can, or ask me before your period starts so that you can answer it before you start your test.